Hi.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Anahil Farishwali. I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. Can you please your mic close? Mute your mic. Okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Nahil Farishwali and I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. Today we have the very reputable person here. So his name is Richard. And so we welcome our guest and get to know about his life journey. So, sir, welcome. How are you? Unmute your mic.
There we go. Hi. Sorry. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming. I'm good. Sir, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. So my name is Richard Reynaud. I'm the creator of the Dragonfly. The Dragonfly is a technology that enables people to communicate with the other side. Um, it is actually, I'll show you. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And what it does is I connect people to your spirit guides, which are a group of souls who have been with you since the moment you were created. So they're extremely knowledgeable. They love you and they can help you in your life and give you insight that to answers that you've been seeking. So I have a website called richardthecreator.com, which has all the information about the dragonfly.
All right. That's great. Thank you so much, sir, for your introduction. So now let's move on to questions. So my first question is that can you tell us more about your journey as a self-taught creator and teacher? What inspired you to take this part?
So what inspired me is as a young child, I was introduced to the paranormal and spirituality, and I was able to communicate with the other side through a family member who was a what is called a trance psychic who had souls who spoke through him. Did that as a young teenager, and I learned the value of communicating with the other side. So it definitely helped shape who I am and who I became. And then when I discovered the Dragonfly technology in 2017, it definitely accelerated my path and it helped me to want to help other people to have the same ability to be able to contact the other side and communicate with their spirit guides so that they too can empower themselves to learn more.
All right. That's great. Uh, Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Now let's move on to next question. So my next question is, you mentioned that you're passionate about using technology to improve life. So, can you share an example of a project or initiative where you successfully implemented this passion?
Great question. So the one that definitely gave me the passion is the invention of the dragonfly. This definitely helped to improve lives because it gives people access to information. I call it the spiritual internet. And you can also speak with those who have passed over. And one of three things will happen: either you will hear the voice you remember, or you could hear tones of the voice of the way they used to say certain words, or you'll hear a completely different voice and they'll give you every indication that it is them. That I have found helps people get over the grief of losing someone, um, because it's a great loss when we've lost someone that we loved. And this technology has definitely um, improved lives, and it's it's inspired me, and it's my passion is communicating with the other side and helping people empower themselves so that they can do more.
All right, great. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. My next question is your approach to problem solving is described as unconventional and innovation. Could you provide an example of a situation where this approach led to particularly unique solution?
So, one example is I didn't have money for a car, and here in Canada, a car costs a lot of money, and I had to find a way of being able to afford the car. But since I had no money, I was guided by my spirit guides, who said that I didn't need money to buy a car. So when I went to the car dealership, it turns out that they offered a deferred payment. So I didn't have to pay for the car for a couple of months. And they allowed me to do that. And I didn't think that that was going to happen. But because my guides told me that I didn't need to worry about it, then I decided to actually search for a car. Even though I kind of thought they were crazy, I searched for the car, and it turns out I got a car, and I was able to not pay for it for a couple of months, which was enough time for me to have the money to afford the car. I'm trying to think of what would be unconventional. So I would say, yeah, that was unconventional, because the way I would have thought is, if I can't afford the car, then why go shop for a car? But I didn't know the options that were available. So spirit guides give you those options that you didn't know were available, and it kind of opens the mind to be able to see more. And I wouldn't have shopped for a car if they hadn't said you don't need the money to shop for a car. So I would say that's pretty unconventional.
Okay, I like it. So, communication with spiritual guides is an intriguing aspect of your background. How has it influenced shaped your perspective on creativity and problem solving?
Well, it definitely opens up my perspective, because they give a different perspective and they offer more information. So, if you have a problem that you can't solve, there's missing information that you need. And so the spirit guides were able to give me that missing information. So they kind of work with your mind and the way you think, because they know you so well that when you're working on a problem, your mind kind of is able to complete the knowledge that is missing, so you can solve the problem, or you can understand the problem, and then you can figure out the solution. So it's just I would say it's more getting more information from your guides who understand it better than we understand it.
Yes, right. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. My next question is, can you elaborate on some of the new ideas you are currently exploring and how they push the boundaries of technologies and creativity?
So one of the things that I'm exploring is the ability so that people could see and hear their guides or loved ones without the use of technology. So it's definitely been a creative ride, because I've had to. I'm not there yet, but I've had to figure out ways to improve the technology in order for everyone to be able to do that. So that is the future of the Dragonfly, is to be able to see and hear the other side clearly, like we see each other right now during this podcast.
All right. My next question is being dedicated to both exploring new ideas and teaching suggestion, a commitment to continuous learning. How do you stay updated and motivated in a rapidly evolving field?
Um, the main method has been basically the use of the internet. I find the internet is so vast in knowledge that you can search for practically anything. So when I have an idea, I usually use the internet to get more information, and then I follow up with my I have a conversation with my spirit guides about it in order to develop it further. So I find that works. Is the internet is what helps with the fact that everything's evolving so fast because everyone is posting ideas and information that everyone can access.
All right, that's great. So, my next question is could you share a challenge you be encountered it in your self-thought journey and how you overcome it? What did you learn from that experience?
Um, so a challenge I had was, I would say, thinking that in the early stages of the Dragonfly, I didn't think people would be interested. So talking to the other side is definitely something that is new for everybody. It's not something that is common. It's not like the internet. Like one time the internet didn't exist and now it's available that it's considered normal. Conversation with the other side is not considered normal yet. So I would say the challenge is getting people to understand that it's safe and easy to communicate with those who we cannot see. And I, how I'm overcoming it is just actually through doing podcasts like yours and creating more exposure and trying to get people just to understand that everything is easy and okay. Like there's no danger or mystery in doing this. Um, through doing it myself is where I've gained the experience. So the more I've used the Dragonfly is where I've gained the experience to understand it better so that I can communicate to others about it. And I mean, I would say I've learned that when you have a lot of questions and you need some answers, if you can communicate with the other side, there's definitely some great insight that you can receive that you didn't know you could receive. So that is definitely being added to my experience is the joy of asking questions and receiving answers.
Someone who combines technology and creativity. How do you find the balance between technical feasibility and artistic expression in your project?
That's a good question. Well, I would say it comes with you kind of create your artistic expression in the design and how you wish it to look. And then you work on how to make the technology fit the design. So for me, I just find that once I have an idea of how I wish for it to look, I work on making that technology inside to be able to fit it. So it's a matter of just getting creative and thinking like the game Tetris, where everything fits in a certain spot, and then you get what you want, in essence.
Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is what are your long-term goals in terms of innovation, teaching, and using technology to improve life?
So my long-term goal is for everyone in the world to eventually own and use the Dragonfly to enhance and to enable them to empower themselves to be able to communicate and get answers that they're seeking. So in my other goal is to have people understand that everyone has a team of spirit guides that they didn't know existed. And when they understand that, then you realize you're not really alone, and you're more empowered than you believe you are, and you can get information that you didn't think you could get. So it's just a matter of if I could get this out into the world and everybody can use it, then everybody is going to have a much better life. It's going to be amplified. The road is going to be much smoother.
So much for your answer, and your goal is so inspiring.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. My next question is, your journey as a self-taught creator and teacher is truly inspiring. So, could you share a pivotal moment that you said it inspired and ignited your passion for using technology to improve lives?
The pivotal moment was in 2017 when I discovered the dragonfly. So it was based on a book that I read called Breakthrough: An Amazing Experiment with Electronic Communication with the Dead. That was definitely the pivotal point, because when I heard voices from the other side, it changed my life entirely. And I would say it definitely sped everything up. So my life has accelerated and has only but gotten better day after day.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is, innovation often requires stepping outside of comfort zone. Can you recount a time when an unconventional idea of method, and how did it impact your project or perspective?
Well, definitely. I didn't think that I would be someone who is going to teach others on how to communicate with the other side. So that was definitely a stepping outside of my comfort zone, because I'm introducing an out of the box idea to everybody. And at first I thought, how am I going to do this? How do I explain this? And will everyone accept it? And as I started doing it slowly, everybody actually accepted it better than I expected them to. So it definitely put me in a new position. And in doing so, I've had to give like talks and speeches, and I wasn't used to that. Stepping on stage and talking about what I've done and how I did it is definitely been challenging for myself. So I'm more in the spotlight than I have been. So that's been new challenges, and I'm figuring it out as time goes by.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. With technology evolving rapidly, how do you stay updated and ensure that your ideas remain relevant in an ever changing landscape?
Definitely, it's because it's a new technology. It doesn't really need to stay up to date, because right now there is no competition. So it's just a matter of, I would say, looking in the field and watching what new language people are speaking. When like if someone is a doctor, they have a certain language they talk. If they're an engineer, they have engineering words that they use. So it's a matter of just understanding what the latest words that the millennium are using in order to be able to communicate better, so that they understand what I'm saying.
So much for your answer. My next question is, teaching is noble endeavor. What led you to become a teacher, and how does this role contribute to your mission and making positive impact?
Um, what led me was actually just promoting the product, because in promoting it, I've had to teach people about it. And through that, I've noticed that it has created a positive impact because a lot of people have enjoyed what the messages they've heard and the fact that they can ask two questions. So um, that is definitely, I would say I kind of fell into the role. And it's through circumstantial that in a sense, I had no choice. I either teach people how to use this or they won't understand it at all.
Okay, all right. My next question is, can you share an example of a project where you faced significant challenges during its development? How did you overcome these challenges and what lesson did you learn from the experience?
Um, well, the challenges at first was when I first discovered the Dragonfly, it was in its earliest stages. So the technology was not really developed and not many people could hear what I heard. So using conversations with the other side, I was able to develop the technology further to where it is today so that everybody can hear from their spirit guides using the Dragonfly. Um, the main challenge was being persistent and just to continue experimenting until I got it correct. So I would say it was just like being persevering to make sure that I got to the end goal, and I got there. So yeah, I would say it's just realizing that it's going to work out and to just keep plugging away because that's the only way that you can get there. Is don't give up.
Okay, my next question is, as someone who explores new ideas regularly, how do you manage the balance between experimentations and competition?
Um, I would say you have to stay. Yeah, it's all trial and error. So you try new things, and then what seems practical. I mean, sometimes money is the limitation. So if it costs too much, then it's not practical because it's just too expensive. So then you have to continue experimenting or figuring out a more efficient way of doing it. Um, so it's just a matter of figuring out over time. I would say through trial and error. It's the only way you're going to figure it out. There's no magical answer except through just keep trying until there's a better way. And there's always a better way. It's just a matter of what is it or how.
My next question is, looking back on your accomplishments, is there any particular project that stands out as your proudest achievement? What makes it so significant to you?
My proudest achievement is the invention of the Dragonfly. Um, and why it's so significant is because it helps change lives. It helps people in ways that I almost can't describe because it's so empowering to get information to all the questions that you have ever wondered or to get solutions to problems. Um, that's definitely been my proudest moment is seeing people use it and enjoy it and to gain so much from it.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So, finally, as you continue to explore new ideas and push boundaries, and what legacy do you hope leave behind in the field of technology and creativity?
Um, the I would say the legacy is having had helped people communicate with the other side. Um, hopefully, the Dragonfly becomes as popular as like the iPhone and the Google phones. And I would say just having done that would be my legacy. And then if I could get it to the point where everybody would be able to see and hear the other side, I think that would change lives and definitely give people a new perspective. So if I get remembered for that, that would be fantastic.
Thank you so much, sir. As our
Thank you.
conversation with
Say that again. Sorry.
I close this podcast. So as our conversation with Mr. Richard comes to close, we find ourselves enriched with wisdom, insight, and renewed sense of possibility. His dedication to self-thought innovation, his unique approach to problem solving, and profound influence of his spiritual connections have left an indelible mark on on our minds. So, Mr. Richard, your journey has been a testament to the power of curiosity, creativity, and relentless pursuits of making a positive impact. Your ideas, discoveries, and experience are inspiring to all of us, reminding us that boundaries of technology and imaginations are only limited by our own determination. To our audience, I hope you be found this conversation as enlightening and thought provoking as I have. Remember, innovation knows in
Innovation.
hello.
Hi.
Remember, innovation knows no bounds, and the drive improve life. Creativity is noble endeavor we can all embrace. With
Yes.
sincere gratitude, I thank Mr. Richard for sharing his time, knowledge, and insight with us today, and to our us as us on the captivating journey. Until we meet again, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what possibilities. And thank you so much, Mr. Richard, for your time, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing incredible answers.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been fantastic.
Thank you. So this is Manahi Forest Valley signing off and wishing you all a future filled with innovation and positive change. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.
Bye.